Lowe's. Find the right flooring for the job in Lowe's newly redesigned flooring showroom. Shop our expanded assortment of trusted brands and get up to 35% off style selections, Stainmaster, and Stainmaster Pet Protect Special Order Carpet. And while you're here, save $100 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 6-amp-hour 2-pack of batteries. Now just $179. Get more of what you need faster and save more where it counts from the ground up. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 8/26 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Listen to the heartbeat.
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason. With SUVs made to move with your rhythm. The versatile Equinox tackles your entire day. The spacious Traverse fits your crew and your whole weekend. And Trax brings style with value you can count on. All infused with tech that has your back, so your drive always hits the right chord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
From the sheep-filled roads of Scotland to the sheeple-filled streets of New York City, this movie has more wedding red flags than your average edition of Uber Bride magazine. But does it bring the fun and laughs? Summon the Haggis. It's time to kilt up and see if Maid of Honor is not that bad. Welcome one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades in B movies. Hello to all of our listeners in Falkenstein, Germany, and around the world. How the heck are you guys doing? All right, so we are continuing our wedding-themed journey through the month of August with yet another film that makes people question if they should actually walk down the aisle with Maid of Honor. And here to join me, Maid of much honor herself, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm great, but I don't know if you realize you had a missed opportunity in that intro.
Did I?
Yes.
What did I miss?
That it's not that bad.
God, I did. I failed. I have failed this podcast. I feel like I now need to hit stop and start all over again. But nope, we're already into the show. We are not hitting rewind. Just live with it. Just know that for this episode, Carrie got the upper hand in the bad dad jokes. Does that make it a bad mom joke?
I think so.
There needs to be. Why do dads get blamed for all the bad dad jokes?
And why don't mom get more credit for being funny too?
Right?
I can be funny.
Well, funny, quotation marks, because bad dad jokes are, they're bad. Admittedly,
Would you say they're bad?
And with that, we're going to be talking about Maid of Honor. I'm trying to get away from the sheep here. It's getting a little woolly in this here. But let's talk about Maid of Honor here. So we're going to be going down this road in basically what is a gender-swapped version of my best friend's wedding. But before we do, it is time to take this film and trailerize it.
Tom and Hannah, best friends brought together through honesty and makeshift mace. But when Hannah finds love in all the bullcrap in Scotland, because with that many bulls on the road, one of them is dropping a load of haggis, Tom gets major FOMO. Now, realizing he wants to show Hannah all of his Grey's Anatomy, he looks to let the air out of the bagpipes of her upcoming nuptials to prove that he is the right man for her. It's like Wedding Highlander. There can be only one groom. Pour yourself a whiskey and bust out your thunder beads. It's Maid of Honor. Rated PG. For plaid groom wannabe.
Oh, no. Oh, and the thing is, there's not a word of lie in any of that.
Although I will say, and I did take a little bit of research time on this one here. One of the houses that they showed for the house in Scotland was actually used in the film Highlander.
Ah.
So I'm not just, being all Scottish, stereotype here. There was actually a Highlander connection.
I thought you were going to say that you researched the glow-in-the-dark thunder beads, and that would really mess with your algorithm.
If by algorithm you mean I'm just shifting in my seat constantly throughout the show, then yeah, sure. Okay, well, it's my algorithm.
Oh, God. Oh.
All right, well, let's get into who is in this movie and who is not in the Thunder Beats. Movie stars Patrick Dempsey, Michelle Monaghan, Kevin McKidd, Kadeem Hardison, Chris Messina, Richmond Arquette, Busy Phillips, Whitney Cummings, Emily Nelson, Sidney Pollack, Kathleen Quinlan, Kevin Sussman, and Selma Stern. It was directed by Paul Weiland. This is actually the last film that he ever directed. Now, I'm not saying he has a stellar filmography because let's just say in his directing filmography is one of the films on Wikipedia's list of films considered to be the worst, Leonard Part 6. The movie has a budget of $40 million. Domestically, it only made $46 million. Worldwide, $106 million. But you know what? I'm going to give this movie a pass on debuting high because they released this movie on the May 2nd, 2008 weekend. And if you know anything about anything when it comes to the year 2008 in films, you know that this movie released on the same weekend as Iron Man. So, of course, that's taking number one with $98 million. Maid of Honor debuted with $14.7 million at number 2 and was the highest grossing debut that weekend. There are some accolades for this film. At the 2008 Teen Choice Awards, the movie was nominated for Choice Movie Bromantic Comedy, but lost to What Happened in Vegas. But on the other side of things, at the 2008 Women in Film Critics Circle Awards, this movie was entered into their Hall of Shame. I gotta read this quote here for you, okay? To hell with safe sex, as a supremely horny, lecherous guy gets to be Prince Charming husband material. A womanizer's guide to wedded bliss. So, they're not wrong, though.
Oh, come on.
They're not wrong, though.
Harsh.
We will be talking about these characters a little bit later in the show, but let's just say it doesn't... I think this film isn't all that bad, but they're not wrong about Tom's character, which is probably why the critics had a few things to say about the film. At Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a tomatometer of 15% with a popcorn meter of 55%, so a 40-point swing there. At Letterboxd, 2.9 stars out of 5 for a 58% score. IMDb, 5.9 for a 59% score. Movie Database, 65%. But at Metacritic, the film had a Metascore of 37, giving this film an aggravated aggregate of 48.16%. So we've got a 50-point swing from the lowest score being the 15% tomatometer to the 65% score at the Movie Database. So, Carrie, which end of the spectrum do you think this movie sits in from those numbers?
I'd say high. I don't see anything glaringly wrong with this movie. Is it predictable? Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, because we've seen it before. It is a gender swap, My Best Friend's Wedding.
But, I mean, there was nothing outlandishly wrong with it. So
No.
I would say, in the 50s is fair. Like, is it earth-shattering or groundbreaking? Hell no, you're right. It follows the same formula as My Best Friend's Wedding, gender swap version. It was charming. It was the perfect amount of, okay, they're going to sort this out. They're going to be together forever. Nope. Okay, maybe now it's nope. Okay, maybe now it'll happen. Not quite. It toys with the viewer's emotions when you just start to think, yes, it's all going to work out perfectly, and as it should, something happens, right? There's always conflict. And
in a movie that never happens?
It was enjoyable, predictable. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing right or, again, groundbreaking, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Pros, find the right flooring for the job in Lowe's newly redesigned flooring showroom. Shop our expanded assortment of trusted brands and get up to 35% off style selections, Stainmaster, and Stainmaster Pet Protect Special Order Carpet. And while you're here, save $100 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 6-amp-hour 2-pack of batteries, now just $179. Get more of what you need faster and save more where it counts from the ground up. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 8/26 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Listen to the heartbeat.
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason. With SUVs made to move with your rhythm. The versatile Equinox tackles your entire day. The spacious Traverse fits your crew and your whole weekend. And Trax brings style with value you can count on. All infused with tech that has your back, so your drive always hits the right chord. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
All right, well, let's get into the breakdown here. We start with Patrick Dempsey, who played Tom. Your thoughts?
I'm just going to put it out there. It's not like he was a misogynistic womanizer. Did he like women? Yes.
Oh, he was a total playa.
But women liked him too. Women were throwing themselves at him. Like, it's not necessarily, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Mm-hmm. I think if you are going to draw comparisons to My Best Friend's Wedding, which you kind of have to, really, they initially make the character a little bit unlikable. You know, obviously the opening scene, and I'll give them a pass on the slight de-aging that they tried to do. But it's one of those things where, okay, it's a misstep. He walks into the room. He thinks the girl is supposed to be in there. It's a different girl. The scene is kind of funny, but the thing is, it kind of builds a weird kind of friendship based on complete and utter honesty and one not necessarily going after the other. It's almost like a mutual respect kind of friendship that's built from this one little completely honest and, you know, slightly perfume to the eyes filled, you know, initial meeting. I liked the chemistry between Patrick Dempsey and Michelle Monaghan. I think that leads itself a little bit to it. But the thing is that up to the point where Hannah leaves for Scotland initially, you know, Tom isn't played, or at least written, as a guy that we want to see Hannah get together with, even though we were seeing Hannah showing feelings towards Tom. And, you know, it's only when she goes away to Scotland for X amount of time and he realizes just how much of his daily routine, you know, is enjoyable because of Hannah, then he gets the FOMO. But I've got a problem here. I do have one problem with the way Tom's character is written. Nothing against Patrick Dempsey. I thought he actually did a fairly charming job, you know, regardless of Hall of Shame status for the movie and the Women Film Critics Circle Society. That's whatever. But Tom is rich. We know Tom is rich because he made, you know, the cup cozy or whatever it is. Basically the sleeve that prevents us all from being burned by our coffee. Burned, I say. So why is he leaving the fate of his feelings and his heart up to cell service? Get on a plane. Fly there. You are that rich. You have that money. We have established that. So why, if you're feeling that separated, if you're feeling and you're starting to discover that you have these feelings, get on a plane. Go to her. Don't just leave it all to the cell phone. 2008 cell phone status here. On a flip phone. On a flip phone.
I think that they allowed for the element of the absence makes the heart grow fonder. And he was giving her, it was only 6 weeks. So he was giving her the space that maybe they both needed to realize where they should have been.
Okay,
or
she knew she
maybe
liked
not.
him, though. We saw that at his dad's 6th wedding.
And on the plane.
Right? Like, I understand that if he actually went to Scotland and confessed his feelings, then the movie would only be about half an hour long.
And there would be no maid of honor. There would be a groomsman.
That's pretty much, that would be a groom, period. Yes, exactly. But let's get to Michelle Monaghan, who played Hannah. Your thoughts?
Oh, I liked her. I liked her so I admired her strength and that, she had a handsome and charming BFF, right? And that she never let it, even though she realized she had feelings for him, she never let it affect her friendship with Tom, even though her own mother saw it blooming and saw it for what it was or what it should have been.
Well, no. It was her father who has passed away. And, the mother was like, he was so off base as he always thought you and Tom would get together. So, I mean, I don't know if she said that mainly because she had thoughts about, what she was feeling kind of thing or not. But the thing is, I like the way that they had written Hannah not to be some head over heels girl, wishing that one day Tom would come to his senses and choose her instead of all these other girls that he's sleeping with. Like, for the most part, she acts kind of like his wingman. Not necessarily going out and finding the girls for him, but the thing is like, she's his confidant. She's his ear to bend. She's almost his safe space to a point where he can talk to her about all these things that he does. And she doesn't pass judgment upon him, which also allows him to continue to be honest. And it's a good friendship that they have built up, even though it's clear she's harboring some kind of feelings. But then again, she's probably also more mature and more in touch with her own feelings rather than, Tom, who likes to touch other people's feelings.
I guess it was, I don't know, it was necessary for her to take that break, that trip to Scotland. Maybe she just needed some time to step away as well and realize where she needed to be. And then she met the guy.
It does feel weird, though. It wasn't that long after Tom's dad's 6th wedding that we clearly saw that there were some feelings while they were dancing together. And then all of a sudden she goes to Scotland, gets stuck in the road, and then finds the guy, apparently, for her to... I almost wish when she came back to New York, that there was more of a more motivation on her part to try to get Tom to confess if there are feelings, because he's not exactly the most open of books.
I just think it's so interesting how they wrote the character, is that she was definitely a very strong woman.
Yes.
We, agree on that. She was such a strong, independent woman that she didn't need to fall in love.
No.
If she, if she didn't possess that strength of character, she may have fallen for Tom earlier. But the fact that she was so strong and she was independent and went off to Scotland, not with the intention of falling in love, but that she fell in love so quickly to this other guy. There was no that he had to prove himself. There was no element that, she wanted to get to know him or become friends with him. And you could see that in, when she was talking to the priest and she was trying to find the things that she loved about this new guy, what was his name again? Colin. Yeah. The things that she loved about Colin, and she was just blank. She just couldn't quite answer that question.
That was an interesting moment because before that scene when they're having lunch with the bridesmaids and she runs off to take that phone call, there's one part where they cut back to her. She's looking at the table from afar, going, "No, it's all going according to plan." I'm like, is this some kind of elaborate ruse that she's doing in order to be able to get Tom to show feelings? I don't know. It wasn't. I'm glad it wasn't, because that's one hell of a attempt to try to get someone to convince their feelings. But the thing is that it's clear that Hannah was at that moment in her life ready for love. She had hoped it would be Tom. She met Colin, kind of went from there, and we get the movie that we get. But let's talk about Kevin McKidd, who played Colin. Your thoughts on him?
I liked him. I liked that basketball scene where, at first the guys were like kind of playing keep away, and then he dunked the ball, and then it was like that moment of acceptance, right? He became one of the guys, really.
I love the fact he's like, no, where I'm from, it's called netball. It's more of a girls' game. Okay, so now you're just kind of dissing their basketball.
Yeah, but he's used to like chucking like, I don't know what, hammers or like weights.
Hammer tosses in trees, basically. Yes, the caper toss.
Yeah.
But I get the fact that, you're casting Kevin McKidd for a couple of reasons. A, he is actually Scottish. B, he's also Patrick Dempsey's Grey's Anatomy co-star.
Oh.
So this is really one of those, like you are really going for the Grey's Anatomy crowd at this point. Right. And that's not a bad thing, right? Like if you have a show that is doing as well as Grey's Anatomy does, and it does, then of course you're going to kind of lean into what you can do. The problem I find with Colin's character is that it's very kind of passively written, right? He doesn't do anything bad. He doesn't do anything good. He just does things. He's there. Right? He's almost secondary. So if I'm going to draw a comparison to My Best Friend's Wedding, the big difference is that, Julie Roberts doesn't actually get to break up the wedding. So there's more of a love story there, like a proper love story. But the thing here is that, we got to know Cameron Diaz's character. We got to know Kimmy a little bit more. So when Jules is trying to break up the wedding, it feels a little bit more weighty, a little bit more consequence. Whereas here, like, we get to know Colin a little bit, but to the extent of he's tall, he's athletic, he's Scottish. That's pretty much it. That's the description. So when Tom actually successfully stops the wedding and convinces Hannah that he's the guy, it's like, oh, I'd say poor Colin, but meh. Oh, we're going to tackle these three together because they're basically one character. Gary, Dennis, and Felix. These are Tom's boys, played by Richmond Arquette, yes, related to David Arquette, Chris Messina, and Kadeem Hardison, probably best known as Dwayne Wayne from A Different World. Your thoughts on these three?
I liked them. I liked the fourth guy too. The guy with the goggle glasses that he just wanted to be accepted. He just wanted to play with the guys.
That is a pre-Big Bang Theory Stewart, played by Kevin Sussman. His character is known as, and this is the actual way it's written in the credits, Tiny Shorts Guy.
Aww.
I mean, Tiny Shorts Guy is a good running gag, but I love the fact that Kadeem Hardison became like almost not necessarily like the wingman for Tom's, womanizing side. Not even womanizing. It's not even massage. Like, he's very honest with everybody in that he's, not committing to anybody. He's just a player. But the thing is, it's almost like he became the wingman for Tom's hopeless romantic side that became unburied along the way.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like, each one of the guys brought something different. There was the serial dater, the womanizer, and then there was like the married, commitment driven guy. And then then there was Tiny Shorts guy that I don't even know if he has kissed a girl. So
But the thing is with Gary, Dennis, and Felix, I find like each of the three are almost like different parts of Tom's character. It's almost like they're avatars for all the different aspects of who Tom is.
yeah, I loved it. I loved, what? They were like cheering him on. They
were making baskets together.
They knew exactly where he needed to be, and they were like, okay, go get her.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's not like, I mean, there was the one guy who all he wanted to do was like go to the bar, get laid, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that is an aspect of Tom's character. I get that. But for the most part, the other two, especially Kadeem Hardison's character, became almost like the hype man for love. Like, almost like the opposite of the misogyny that Tom's character is being called out for. Like, I don't agree with Tom's initial character at the beginning of the film, but I mean, like, the guy's just discovering feelings, give him a break, let him ease into it. But it's a supportive kind of bromance with his boys.
Yeah, I think it was necessary for him to kind of get the womanizing out of the way, so that way, once he's ready to settle down and he's ready to commit, then, then he's all about Hannah, right? And at that point in his life, he knows what he wants.
Then you have the bridesmaids, played by Emily Nelson, Whitney Cummings, and Busy Phillips as Hillary, Stephanie, and Melissa. Your thoughts on these three?
Wow. Yeah. I still can't forgive the blonde and at the end
Melissa, yes, played by Busy Phillips.
Oh my, first of all, she looks so familiar. I'm sure I've seen her in something else, but that aside, it's like she spent, the good part of the movie hating on Tom until, I don't know, maybe she had a bit too much haggis and blood wine or whatever. She was probably a little bit drunk, but then, kind of really, really ruined the chances of the connection between Tom and Hannah. Whether, I don't even think it was intended. It was just like really bad timing when she decides to almost like attack Tom, totally unwillingly too, by the way. I mean, that's the thing, is like there were so many moments in this movie where it's like, oh, okay, they're going to connect. Tom and Hannah are going to realize where they need to be, and, all mistakes will be forgiven and forgotten. And then, boom, something happens, right? Mm-hmm. It really played with my emotions.
Getting to Busy Phillips and her filmography, she, of course, had a main role in Guys 5 Eva. Also had an appearance in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. She was in the Third Wheel episode of How I Met Your Mother. She had a main role in season 6 of Dawson's Creek. And as far as movies go, nothing that we have actually covered yet on the show, but He's Just Not That Into You, White Chicks. I Don't Know How She Does It. So she has a decent filmography. The key thing here is that Busy Phillips also is kind of part of Tom's back character because, of course, they had sex together and then he, I guess, didn't call her, whatever the case may be, kind of thing. So there's that initial tension. But Whitney Cummings' character as Stephanie is almost like the definer for Hannah's character. And again, you need these kind of characters. You need these you need these supporting characters to support the main cast, so it almost accents the characteristics that you want to see in the main character. But also, to the same token, this film does a very good job of not putting too much B or C plot on the side characters and keeping the focus directly on Tom and Hannah. That's a trap that some films do get into. I was worried a little bit because, of course, Hillary, it's played by Emily Nelson, her character was all like, I'm going to fit in this size 8 dress and I'm going to find a Scottish man and I'm going to fall in love. And we do see a little bit of that, but not to the point that it takes away from the main story. So they did a good job of keeping the focus on the A plot.
Except for one thing. I didn't appreciate how she set Tom up as the Mo, and flipped him the card of that tantric sex toy seller.
The Thunder Beads.
Was it funny? Yeah. Did it, give way for the running joke of Grandma's pearl glow in the dark necklace that matched her earrings, which, okay. But I didn't like it. I didn't like that.
But she didn't like him, so it almost kind of makes sense a little bit.
Yeah, but really the person it hurt was Hannah. And
yes.
I don't think that, obviously she was jealous that Tom got the role of the Mo and she wanted to be, but it took something away.
Yeah, it turned it almost into a little bit of Bride Wars-esque kind of thing. And it didn't need that. Maybe if we had seen Melissa talk to Hannah afterwards, because if Hannah was really that hurt by it, then yeah, maybe we did need some kind of, we needed to almost find a bridge, because for Melissa to admittedly she was drunk when she tried to, jump Tom before the wedding, but
yeah, she was pretty forceful about that, though. I was kind of uncomfortable watching that scene. I'm like, damn, there's got to be a hotline he can call for that.
Right?
Yeah.
There's an HR call waiting to happen right there.
Yeah.
You started to talk about her, so let's talk about these two. Kathleen Quinlan as Joan, who was Hannah's mom, and Selma Stern, who was Grandma Pearl, who was wearing some pearls around her neck.
Yeah.
Pearls. We'll leave it at that. Your thoughts on these two?
Adorable and absolutely knowing. Like the mom, from the bachelorette party, right?
Mm-hmm.
She knew how this had to go. And
did nothing about it, though.
I almost kind of wish that, I don't know, I wish she said a little bit more. I think it was enough to give her the photo album and kind of, bring Hannah back to their story. Tom and Hannah having been friends, obviously, since college or university, like for a long, long time. They were together, but not together.
Yeah.
But, they had that history, that time spent, and how Hannah's like within 2 weeks making a rush decision that affects her entire life. It really kind of played into it. It really kind of gave it, that bit more grounding. I think that that photo album was really grounding for Hannah.
Yeah, I do wish they spent a little bit more time maybe flipping through one or two of the pages by herself just to reinforce those feelings, right? But the thing is, when Joan sees the two of them kiss at the pub, and then she kind of walks away, and then nothing comes of it.
Mm-hmm. That's where I would have liked to see something.
Yeah, like
right?
maybe the next day, maybe they just have a mother-daughter kind of moment where, it's almost like the are you ready for this? No, are you ready for this?
Yeah, to like ask Hannah the questions that she couldn't answer the priest.
Yeah.
Right?
There was a scene on the ferry where she's just kind of looking out at the coastline, and the mother comes up and kind of puts an arm on her back kind of thing, and almost knowingly consoles. So, we do have almost a silent moment for that, like an unspoken kind of moment, but maybe that was supposed to be the that moment that we're thinking of, that, if it's right, he'll come back or something like that.
I think so, but I think further to that, maybe it was at the wedding. Maybe instead of having Tom literally fly off a horse through the doors and collapse on the floor, I think Hannah should have come to her own realization previous to that. Like, even if it's, I don't know, clearly she was looking out at the Scottish land, right? She was maybe looking out there for Tom.
Yeah.
Right? Knowing that he had left earlier, maybe some sign or something. But I think, I don't know, if maybe like, I'm not necessarily condoning that she hop off the boat and swim to shore, but...
Not in that dress.
But, something. Maybe if she had noticed him at the dock where the boat had taken off, before he hopped on the horse, maybe if she just spotted him, just all it would have taken is like a quick, shot, right? A shot of him waving and her reaction. And that would have been maybe enough to, like, I don't know, at least let her know that he was still there and that he was coming back for her. Something, give us something. But there were so many moments in this movie where it's like hit and miss, or it's like, okay, maybe it's going to work out. Nope, not yet. But eventually, like, again, totally predictable, but you almost kind of want to get there, and then you feel so let down that, okay, no, they're not together yet.
Yeah. One last person to talk about here, Sidney Pollack as Tom Sr. This was his final role. He passed away less than a month after the film came out. Your thoughts on him?
Oh my God, I didn't realize that. That's sad. I liked him. I liked him a lot. I thought it was a really interesting angle because it was kind of like for Tom to see how he didn't want his life to go.
Right.
Or to find out the love that his own father still held for his mom. And that the father realized his mistakes when it was too late. And he didn't want to repeat the same mistakes as his father. Like, it was just such a cool kind of, I don't know, almost like a self-awareness moment.
Yeah.
That was so needed.
Yeah, I mean, I take a look at Tom's basketball buddies, and if they're avatars of the different parts of Tom's personality, Tom Sr. is definitely the avatar of almost what Tom doesn't want and is also kind of afraid of, right?
The cautionary tale.
Exactly, right? He doesn't want to have to go through 6 different weddings, right? He lives his life and his love life very much in a way that keeps him safe from being hurt, like his dad is constantly being hurt. So it's almost like he's defending himself against what could be, but in the end, it's that scene where they're having a whiskey together before he goes off to Scotland, and Tom's actually able to connect with his dad, because that's something that he wasn't able to do beforehand, right? Without Hannah's help. Here, it's a really good moment, and it's subtly played by Sidney Pollack. He was the perfect guy for this role. Absolutely the perfect guy. Okay, we did talk about how there are comparisons to this and My Best Friend's Wedding. And of course, you can draw comparisons to a number of other different wedding-themed romantic comedies. But does this film bring anything, or at least enough original to the table for it to kind of separate itself from the other films?
Yeah, it does. What I thought was interesting and we didn't mention enough of is Tom's connection with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of something, it was like a running theme that if there was a dog in the scene, it's almost like...
The dogs were the only ones he could say that he loved.
Yeah. He made like an instant connection, and I thought it was hilarious that there was little Scotty named Colin.
Mm-hmm. But then, like, right at the beginning of the film, right after they rinse all the perfume out of his eyes, right? He suspects that she might like him a little bit because she has this look that a dog gives right before you say hi to it. So clearly, even though she takes it as, well, you saying I look like a dog. Meanwhile, the dogs are the only beings that he can really, truly, openly connect with in a proper way.
Yeah.
So I like that there's that little subtle signature in there too. Plus, let's be honest, this film, if anything, aside from being, fun, mildly entertaining, kind of cute and all that, this is a fantastic promo for people who want to go visit Scotland. Because I tell you, the scenery in this film is fantastic when they finally get over there. Like, tell me you didn't want to go driving through some of those small towns and through those hills.
Oh my God. And the row of colorful, I guess it was at the bar or where they held the bachelorette party, like just the little towns. And of course, the sprawling greenery, the massive, beautiful, like almost like estate acres.
I love that this film got away from New York, because then it really would have felt like every single other American-made rom-com out there about a wedding. Putting this in Scotland gave it just a beautiful visual vista. Like, it really is enticing to people to sit there and watch this film and go like, oh man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I need to go visit there.
And the cathedral church.
Oh God, yes.
Oh my God. So pretty.
Like, I'm telling you, watching this film, I wanted to go to Scotland. It was so gorgeous.
Well, even the location, for Hannah's room, which almost kind of seemed to be in like a basement, but the doors were like arched and it was, clearly they're staying in a castle. It was so cool.
Yeah. So, dear Scotland, this movie has made us want to come visit you. Not that we didn't want to before, but let me tell you, this film is a fantastic promo video for that. But let's get down to business here. Let's summon the Haggis and find out who your MVP is of Maid of Honor.
Mama Athol. We didn't talk about the Athol family.
No, it wasn't the Athol family. Basically, it was, I guess the name Athol has been in the family for generations, and they're like, no, we're not naming our son Athol.
Exactly. Mama Athol. No, you know what? I have to give respect to Patrick Dempsey, to Tom. I was cheering for him. I was rooting for him the entire movie.
I want to give a small shout out to Kadeem Hardison. I didn't even recognize him in this film. I thought it was a great role for him. I like Michelle Monaghan as an actor. I really do. Loved her in Source Code. Source Code's like one of those, like, not huge, but almost perfect kind of like sci-fi-esque kind of movies that doesn't get near enough attention that it should. But I'm with you on this one. Patrick Dempsey really does carry this film. And I think the key thing here is that it had to be either Michelle Monaghan or Patrick Dempsey, because while there are enough other actors in here, we don't spend much time on them. And I think that's the proper move for this movie.
Or both as a couple.
Yeah, because their chemistry was fantastic.
Because you're rooting for them the entire way. Sometimes when there's these like cat and mouse, hit and miss relationship movies, sometimes the lead actor or actress, winds up doing something so unforgivable that you kind of like turn away from them or get angry with them. The entire movie, I was rooting for Tom and Hannah to connect.
The other thing too, and I will give this film credit, is that at no point did they turn it negative, right? Tom was looking for dirt on Colin, couldn't find anything, right? When the worst thing about Colin's character is that he practices the bagpipes every day, okay, you know what? They kept it fairly light. They kept it on a positive perspective, despite the fact that you have the maid of honor trying to break up the wedding so he can marry the bride.
Well, even the womanizing, like I said, it wasn't that Tom was an ass about it. Like, women were literally throwing themselves at him.
No, he was just a player.
Yeah, like giving their phone numbers to him. He didn't even have to ask, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So it's not his fault necessarily.
I mean, it's Patrick Dempsey. Women are going to give him their phone number.
Meh.
No?
No, I might give him the number to Pizza, but no.
Also, pizza. But do they deliver to Scotland?
Haggis pizza.
Oh, dear God, no. No. Do they put haggis on pizza?
In Scotland, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they put that shit on everything.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I'm very curious. Maybe someone will hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast and let us know if they have ever heard of or seen anyone putting haggis on pizza. Ugh. But anyways, we got one more movie for our wedding month next week. And I hope you've been enjoying this. And I hope that if you are getting married, your maid of honor doesn't try to break it up. But until that time, you guys know the drill. If there is a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned or is so bad that there is no way in a Scottish castle that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast or go to our website, notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you check out our brand new music show, The Under 5 Top 5. The first episode has already dropped and more episodes coming in November. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad. Take care.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS. This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
Hello?
Look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
The Devil Wears Prada 2 is now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
We are digital, we are downloadable, we are streamable.
The fashion event of the year is certified fresh.
Pull yourself together, we have work to do.
Critics say it's smart and witty and the perfect sequel.
That's all.
Get runway ready for The Devil Wears Prada 2 on Disney Plus and Hulu. Rated PG-13.